Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're talking about another win for the United States and President Trump in international politics. Immediately following the president's successful showing at the G7 summit in Canada earlier this week, the Don next flew out to Singapore to meet with the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. This was an historic event with monumental steps forward for the Korean Peninsula, their neighbors, and the world. And so far, by all accounts, this meeting was also a big success. Kim agreed to peacefully disarm North Korea and work further towards peace with South Korea, a neighbor it's been antagonistic with for decades now. And let's not forget, this Trump-Kim summit is the second part of a bigger story. Trump also helped broker the first meeting between North and South Korea a couple of months back in April, something many suggested he could win a peace prize for. And now, Trump is following up by meeting with Kim himself, something no American president has done, ever. In fact, Obama was approached about doing a summit like this with Kim about 4 or 5 years ago, but he blew the invitation off. We're going to go over the details of that and more about the summit and what the countries actually agreed to. And then, of course, like today's title suggests, we're going to get to all the triggered liberals and leftists who are really genuinely squirming and struggling to make sense of yet another Trump success story. We're going to get to all of that and more, but first, let's talk about how this summit came to be. You see, that brings us to the Dennis Rodman part of the story. Dennis is a former basketball star, one of the greatest of all time in fact. And a few years ago, he happened to find himself in a unique position to help broker this historic meeting. Dennis happened to become friends with Kim years ago. The North Korean leader is known to be a huge fan of America, our culture, and particularly basketball. Anyway, long story short, Rodman has been trying to be a go-between to make this meeting happen for years now, but apparently Obama was just blowing him off for a while. I guess Obama was too busy meeting with communist leaders in Cuba maybe. Regardless, finally, Trump made this happen, and here we are today. Now here's some footage of Rodman on CNN talking about this whole story.
If you can move certain things or do certain things, I will listen. My ears will be open. And I tried to do that to Obama. And Obama didn't even give me the time of day. I asked him, I said, I have something to say from North Korea. He just brushed me off.
I love how he's rocking a red MAGA hat. Nice. God bless you, Dennis Rodman. And you can't see it much at this angle, but he's also rocking a Potcoin t-shirt as an advertisement. This crazy mofo is sporting a weed-based cryptocurrency shirt and a MAGA hat. You really can't make this shit up. Next, he goes all emotional and starts weeping because he's so happy this summit happened.
When I said those damn things, when I went back home, I got so many death threats. I got so many death threats when I was sitting there protecting everything. And I believed in North Korea. And when I went home, I couldn't even go home. I couldn't even go home. I had to hide out for 30 days.
Poor guy, goddamn. I think he's sad and happy at the same time. And if you guys are familiar with Rodman like me, you'll know this isn't the most crazy thing he's ever done. Not by a long shot. The guy used to date Madonna. Need I say more? He was also known for being a powerful, emotional, all-in type of player on the basketball court too. So it looks like he has an over-the-top personality to match that as well. And well, I say sorry. Sorry the country didn't listen to you before, Dennis. But I'm sure glad things are working out now under Trump. Next, let's go over more of what the US-North Korea summit was all about. It was certainly a historic first-time international event. For more details on what they actually spoke about and agreed to, let's take a look at this tweet from Benny. It says, Trump gets Kim Jong-un to officially commit to denuclearization, and also the return of American prisoners of war and missing in action remains. This is huge. This is history. This is the most consequential administration in a generation. Well put, Ben. And there's even more in his attached pic below it, which we'll get to, but first, let's talk about how big denuclearization is. That means no more threatening, scary missile tests that North Korea will be doing over its neighbors. South Korea and Japan and China should be kissing our ass for helping with this right now. And also, do you guys remember last summer when Kim and Trump were trading tweets and insults with each other? That's when we got that whole fire and fury quote. And it was also when Trump called Kim Rocket Man and said we had a bigger button, referring to our nukes. And that time, last summer, was also of course when the whole liberal mainstream media was freaking out, saying Trump was going to trigger Kim and cause a war. Well, look where we are now, huh? Now we've got peace in Korea, denuclearization, and a plan for more peace in the future too. I doubt we'll hear any apologies or corrections from the left-wing alarmists though. In fact, they've just went on to find new ways to bitch about this, as you'll soon see. But first, here's some more details about the summit. Number 1, the United States and the DPRK commit to establish new US-DPRK relations, in accordance with the desire of the peoples of the two countries for peace and prosperity. 2, the United States and North Korea will join their efforts to build a lasting and stable peace regime on the Korean Peninsula. 3, reaffirming the April 2018 declaration, North Korea commits to work toward complete denuclearization denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. And 4, the United States and North Korea commit to recovering POWs and MIA remains, including the immediate repatriation of those already identified. And there you have it. Pretty much the best deal we could get here. North Korea is giving us all our demands, so this is a big win for the United States. But that hasn't stopped radical leftists from bitching about this online. Secular Talk on Twitter sent out this gem, saying this is precious. The Republican Party pretending to be in favor of peace. He even added some cringy emojis at the end there. Well, they're pretty cringy if you're a grown man using them, but I can't really tell if the host here, Kyle, is a boy or a girl, if we're being honest. I can tell he doesn't know what he's talking about though. Of course Republicans are for peace now. Trump just made the biggest peace deal of our generation, you numbnut. Perhaps Kyle's referencing the Bush-era Republicans, who were admittedly more pro-war and hawkish. But that was almost 10 years ago, guy. I don't know if you noticed, but in the modern era, Trump is the one making deals and proctoring peace with not only North Korea, but he's also rebuilt and stabilized our relationship with Russia. And North Korea and Russia are two nations the Democrats have antagonized for years, under the leadership of Barack Hussein Obama, of course, and Hillary, I married a rapist, Clinton. Next, our boy Razorfist chimes in, with this singer destroying secular talk. It says, a performance that is aged like fine milk. And then here's the attached video of Razor on a stream with Kyle, aka Secular Talk.
You've been a pretty staunch critic of Hillary. Do you think she'd actually be doing a better job right now?
Yes, I do. I think she would be, for a few reasons. He's been just as hawkish, if not more so. Like, I don't think Hillary would have been this hawkish on fucking North Korea, where Trump is like tweeting that he's gonna fucking attack him any minute. Every other president was smart enough to know that when fuckface McDictator fat boy over there starts yapping his trap, you shut the fuck up and let him blow his steam off, and that's it.
President Moon Jae-in said Wednesday Trump's fire and fury threats for Kim Jong-un might have done its job.
I think President Trump deserves big credit for bringing the inter-Korean talks.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well done, my friend. Obviously, the first clip was from sometime last year, when Secular Talk was still preaching the anti-Trump, he's gonna trigger Kim bullcrap. Next, there's a beautiful cut to a news clip where the South Korean president applauds Trump and his fire and fury comments. And you know what? I have to say, I'll take President Moon's word about this matter over some dumb lesbian-looking YouTube pundit like Kyle Kulinski. But it wasn't just Twitter and YouTube that was full of liberals triggered about this. CNN's Don Lemon, of course, was really upset too. He's a known biased reporter and Trump hater, and apparently he also hates the idea of peace in the Korean Peninsula. Check this shit out.
You know, we're off the brink of a nuclear war. Well, wasn't that the president's rhetoric in the first place that put us in that? And all you have to do.
Correction, Trump's rhetoric didn't push us into war with North Korea. North Korea has been antagonistic with the West forever. Trump is the first one to meet with them and try and fix things. So his rhetoric actually brought us to peace, not war, you fucking moron.
The whole crux of this. It says, reaffirming the April 27, 2018 Panmunjom Declaration, the DPRK commits to work toward complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Well, that was decided back in April, and that's what they had been working for all along. So do they need to do this, Max?
Yes, dude, they need to do this. What the fuck are you talking about? Really sounds like this guy Don is running out of ideas. He really is a lemon, like his last name says. He's basically got no counter or rebuttal because what happened at the summit was so undeniably good. So now he's just gaslighting us, trying to make us think we're crazy with this absurd question. Do we need this? Yes, we fucking need peace, Don. And we need leaders who can handle things with diplomacy too. And about that first meeting you were referencing back to, well, President Trump is the one who helped set up the original Korean summit in April as well. So you can't take away his credit for denuclearization by saying it was already established before at a meeting he also set up. You can't take away his credit by giving a credit to him before, or I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This was all Trump and you know it, Don.
I think you're exactly right, Don, that a lot of the reason why we were on the brink of nuclear war last year, I mean, part of it to be sure was because of the North Korean nuclear tests and their missile tests, but also because of the reckless and irresponsible rhetoric from Donald Trump.
No, it's not that at all, Baldy. I don't know what it is, but CNN always has bald dudes on their show, usually with thick-rimmed glasses. And a lot of their hosts are bald too. Just saying. Nothing wrong with being bald, but you gotta admit, CNN has a lot of man babies over there. The truth is, with this North Korean situation, Trump didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. No, but really, like how the South Korean president said before, Trump's comments last year are what led to the peace we have today. Plain and simple. Next, CNN gets so desperate they start complaining about the food menu for the summit. Not kidding. Check this out.
Typically, the White House releases these kinds of details after, for example, the French president comes to the White House or another head of state comes for a state visit. So by releasing the details of the menu, this is again legitimizing Kim Jong-un and putting him on equal footing with other world leaders, which is what he wants. And I really want to stress here that this working lunch is perfunctory at this juncture.
Perfunctory means with little effort. For those who aren't as familiar with SAT prep words as this wannabe smart chick, who probably starved herself for 3 days before she made the CNN appearance. Vain and petty and hungry. That's why she's making nonsensical points about the summit's menu. Announcing what food is being served is actually a pretty common practice for these things, lady. Normally it's just done for publicity purposes though. But CNN seems to think there's some nefarious reason behind it. Like announcing the menu legitimizes Kim. It doesn't. It's just food. And if we're being honest, Kim was already legitimate long before this. Like it or not, Kim Jong-un is in control of the military regime that rules North Korea and its population of over 25 million. Sure, we may not like the guy and he may be a horrible human rights violator and probably evil and murderous, but at the end of the day, none of that's going to get better if the US continues to ignore him. Obama did that for his whole 8 years and things only got worse. So Trump saw an opportunity to change tactics and make things better, and he took it, and God bless him for it. But CNN can't stand to admit Trump ever did anything good or positive. So that's where we are today.
You're right. Beef short ribs, combination of sweet and sour crispy pork and Yangzhou fried rice, soy braised codfish. I mean, that sounds really yummy and very expensive, by the way. Listen, I want to talk.
Damn, this is really peak libtardation here. Trump derangement syndrome too, for sure. We got Don fucking Lemon, a supposedly respected news anchor, and what's he doing tonight? Instead of talking about peace or the great accomplishments, he's talking about the fucking food menu. This guy needs to get a clue, quick. And our last triggered liberal moment comes from MSNBC. A tweet from Michael Tracy goes over the absurd monologue Rachel Maddow gave a couple nights ago, and apparently she's still trying to make the Russian conspiracy happen. The tweet reads, "So after dramatically revealing to her audience that North Korea has a border with Russia, gasp, Maddow tonight went on an extended dot-connecting monologue where she darkly intimates that maybe somehow the real beneficiary of Trump and Kim summit was Putin. Beyond parody." Wow, sounds like another harebrained scheme to try and slam Trump. Let's go ahead and take a look at Rachel's monologue ourselves and see what's up.
In order to get this summit last night with the American president, the North Korean dictator and the North Korean government appear to have not promised change of any kind in their nuclear program or in any other policy. Literally, they gave up nothing. They promised nothing.
I guess Rachel likes to start her speeches with outright lies. Despite Trump already getting promises from North Korea, mainly them getting rid of their nukes, and other promises too I mentioned before, but despite all that, the left insists on saying nothing came out of this. I guess Rachel is taking notes from Don Lemon and how he likes to gaslight people, like how we already saw before.
Until last night, when Trump casually announced that that's over now, he's doing away with those, blindsided everybody involved, and gave North Korea something they desperately want and would do almost anything for, except he gave it to them for free. How come?
I think the crazy wackadoo implication Rachel is making here is that Trump had this meeting with North Korea as a favor for Russia or something. Because they hacked the election, maybe? I don't know. You never know with these radical leftists, but Rachel is sure implying something very heavily here. Something sinister. She goes over the North Korean-Russian border thing and lies about the US not getting anything out of the meeting, and then she claims we have made concessions which gave us no rewards. And all of this is untrue, but lying is all Rachel can do at this point, I guess. She has to straight up lie and throw away all journalism standards and ethics. Also, she can continue to try and push this giant nothing burger Russia conspiracy on Trump. Fucking pathetic. In the end, the US North Korean summit in Singapore was a big win for Trump, America, and therefore the world. I mean, who wouldn't want more peace in the world? Well, apparently the Democrats. Like I mentioned before, the Republicans are no longer the war hawks we used to be. And on the flip side, Democrats seem to want war and strife and unrest in the world, probably in order to keep the lower classes down and the rich elite classes up. But thankfully, Trump is never going to let that happen. Not anytime soon. What do you guys think about this story today in the summit? Is North Korea going to follow through with their promises? And will we see more moves to peace and prosperity in the future? And what was your favorite leftist freakout concerning this? In response to this obvious win for Trump, which they're scrambling to explain away. Comment your thoughts and everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time.